Midnight Hauntings.
What lies beneath? Some people believe that monsters only emerge at night. Those who subscribe to such beliefs, at least. Reports of these vile creatures often surface in the darkness, as they seem to be sensitive to light. Others think these beasts simply wait until you're alone. Yet the latest rumors suggest that these creatures aren't lurking in the corners of doorways or hiding beneath beds. They have been seen emerging from the very tunnels that miners were excavating near residential areas. This situation alarmed some locals, who requested the miners to cease their work. They claim to have witnessed non-human figures crawling out of the tunnels at night. Every evening the miners pushed deeper, ignoring warnings from the townsfolk, who insisted that their digging was invading the creature's territory. If the miners didn't stop, many believed the beasts would eventually invade their homes. Despite the escalating concerns, the digging continued. After all, who would take such stories seriously? However, one day, reality struck hard when Greg Darwin was summoned to inspect a problem in the tunnel. The miners had encountered a barricade they couldn't break through. Affixed to it was a stone tablet inscribed with ancient writing that nobody could decipher. Strangely, the text resembled symbols rather than traditional writing. Some workers felt uneasy about proceeding, spooked enough to quit on the spot. Nevertheless, the remaining miners pressed on and discovered a sealed passageway. Determined, they spent weeks studying it until a professor finally cracked the code. As they explored, the environment transformed from a tunnel into a cave-like setting. Just as they were gaining ground, the doors behind them slammed shut, trapping them inside. The professor attempted to keep everyone calm, assuring them that if they were in a cave, there would likely be another exit. Two miners approached Darwin, introducing themselves as Joanna and Bobby. They shared a childhood memory of playing in the now abandoned tunnels before a collapse had trapped them inside for 4 days. They recalled finding their way out and believed they could navigate the tunnels again. Darwin agreed to let them lead the way. As they journeyed deeper, the miners shone their lights into the darkness, but shadows danced menacingly around them. Low groans began to echo through the tunnel, intensifying the sense of dread. The path led them deeper into the cave rather than toward an exit. The growling grew louder, and soon a miner screamed. Rushing to investigate, they found that the man had lost his hand. Blood poured from his wound, and panic erupted among the group. "We need to leave now," Darwin shouted. "Whatever did this is not alone, and it will come for us now that it's tasted blood." The injured man struggled to stand, but he staggered from blood loss. Bobby suggested using their lanterns as weapons against the creatures, but Darwin cautioned that these beings had adapted to their dark environment, likely developing senses beyond sight, similar to bats using echolocation. The group pressed on until Bobby pointed upward, indicating a climbing path that would lead them closer to freedom. But there was concern for the injured miner, who couldn't scale the rocks. They decided that a few would ascend while the others stayed behind. Joanna proposed that they all help the injured man climb. As they began to ascend, a horrific scream echoed. It was the miner who had lost his hand. He now had deep bite marks on his face and a gaping wound on his throat. Panic spread like wildfire, and everyone scrambled to climb faster, but in the chaos, one miner triggered a trap, causing spikes to shoot up from the ground. Darwin feared the bloodshed would attract more creatures. As the group faced the threat, one miner caught a glimpse of the beasts. They were nightmarish, with sharp spines and one large eye, grinning with rows of jagged teeth. Screams filled the air as the terror of imminent death loomed over them. As they reached the top, more arrows shot out from the cave walls, killing several miners instantly. Bobby and Joanna hurried to push through yet another barricade, which hadn't been there before. Frustrated, Bobby shouted for everyone to wait for the professor to catch up. Darwin examined the barricade, which had 3 key-like artifacts carved into the stone. As he worked to decipher which key would unlock the door, the miners grew impatient and tried to force it open themselves. When they used the first key, corrosive acid sprayed from the walls, burning flesh painfully. Despite their small stature, the creatures were fast, driven by a growing hunger. After the second key unlocked the door, the miners bolted through as the creatures pursued them. The cave floor gave way beneath some, sending them into an inferno that scorched them without contact. The few who listened to Darwin's advice survived. He urged everyone to climb along the vines leading through the doorway. But the beasts were relentless, climbing after them and tearing at the vines. The miners had to leap from vine to vine without hesitation, ignoring the flames licking at their heels. Finally, they emerged into the light outside. They managed to hitch a ride in the back of a pickup truck. As they drove away, the miners turned to Darwin, questioning how they would explain what had happened. The professor chuckled nervously and adjusted his glasses, replying, "It's simple. We'll blow up both entrances to the cave and tell everyone it collapsed, separating us from each other." "But what if someone goes in to investigate and discovers the truth?" Bobby asked. Frustrated, Darwin sighed. "The reality is, no one will believe us, and they won't survive long enough to find out." And with that, the truck drove off, leaving the truth buried. Because what we seal can always be unsealed again. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story and want to experience more spine-chilling tales, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Your support helps us bring more haunting stories to life. Join our community and let the scares continue. Stay safe, stay spooky, and we'll see you in the next one.